Okay, are we all settled in? We all comfortable? It's driving time. See that little sting goes right at the start of the intro. Oh, I'm so cool. There you are, Jack. Jack the car. I'm very attached to this car now. The game does a very good job. The game tells you that you're gonna get attached to the car, and then you do. And it knows how much you're gonna love your car. Every single time I come on stream now, I'm giving it a different paint job. So oh, this is my current iteration of Jack, with the like 80s or whatever it is, synth stripes and stuff. Done it in red. Not had red one yet. So before this, I had it was black with flames. Then before that, it was what was the pattern I had on it? Because it was the blue one, wasn't it? I had light blue and then black on top. I think I had a decal. I think decal was is a fairly new thing for me. So, as we always do when we jump back into Pacific Drive, we go through the stuff that I've done in between the previous session and this one. So I do have a few things to go through, and I will walk around now, and I will go through them. I'm good at this. So the first thing that I've unlocked is a bigger version of this. This is the expanded matter regenerator. And as it sounds, it's just more space. I don't think it works faster, but I think you just have more space. So you can effectively put an entire second car in here. I've just been healing my car with putty because I've got so many ingredients. Yeah, I've just been healing the car, mainly because I didn't want to mess up the paint job for future streams. I wanted to keep this paint job, so I've just been healing the car. So the car is currently in good condition. I've also fixed all of my quirks, because I added an analysis module into my Tinker Station. You can see at the top, Investigator module, Analysis module. Analysis module allows me to spend my Kalim, the stable energy. It allows me to spend that to diagnose things. And I had a bunch of problems, like quirks, of things that I would never come across. Like, one of them was if fuel is empty. I have never run out of fuel except for that one time when I accidentally ran out just as I was leaving. And I don't think I had that quirk then. So, but it said whenever fuel runs out, wipers like go slower or wobble. It wasn't fuel, sorry, it was electricity. When electricity runs out, and I ran my battery out completely, and nothing changed. So I had to diagnose that using the energy. So I got that, and then there was a few other ones that were all stuff that would never happen in game. It's just stuff that well, for me, I'm never going to run out of stuff because I'm prepared. So I had to diagnose those that way. So anyway, I've got rid of all my quirks. So you can see, there's two! I got rid of all of you! That's annoying. I'm there, like, I'm so proud. I've cleansed my car, and there's fucking two there. Well, I guess we'll see on the journey if those pop up. Well, before I even set off, I might reverse and just see what happens, because every single time I get one, it's almost always, that's a weird phrase, it's almost always that the HUD comes up when I go backwards, or the light inside turns on when I go backwards. The other thing that I've got in the garage, I upgraded my pump to a rapid refill pump. So this pump here, when you put it into the car, it just refills quickly. I don't get why this is an upgrade you need to buy with unstable energy specifically, because it's like a little bit further along on the tree. Because being able to refill this quickly doesn't matter in the garage. I'd prefer it if it was rapid refill, like tank, out on the road, because then you're upgrading your car so you can refill the petrol, the gas, in the car while you're out and about. So I don't understand, like, why is it advantageous to have a fast pump in a place where I'm safe? In terms of the car, I've upgraded a bunch more components. So I'm just going to run through them all. I'll talk about them if it's important, but I'm going to just run through them. So I've upgraded the lead bumper, which is the only bumper I didn't have. And I've also got armoured bumper, armoured panel, and armoured door. So you can see some of the armoured stuff is on. I've specifically started putting things in certain places for my car to fit in with the way that I play the game. So people don't know, the components of the car transfer part of their effect onto nearby components. So, for example, armoured ones protect against impact damage, and that transfers that to the components around it. So I've put armoured across the entire front of my car, because now the front of my car is essentially like tanky, and most of my damage comes from crashing into things like trees. So this front of the car now is really, really tanky. And then I've stuck some lead-plated ones in the middle so that I've got a bit of radiation protection that's been spread to these components on either side, which means that the car has a little bit of radiation protection, which is the other thing that I take most of my damage from at the moment anyway. Acid might become a bit of a problem further down the line. I also have one all-terrain tyre, so this requires carbon fiberglass, and carbon fiberglass requires the tree candy, which I've never seen out in the wild. I've only ever had a bit of tree candy that either came from the dumpster, or you can get it from what they called. There's things that like convert items that you find out in the wild. I saw somebody mention online that if you put plasma into that, you get tree candy. But it's annoying because plasma is a resource I also want some of, because plasma is useful for so many different like builds. So I have to choose now whether I want the upgraded material, tree candy, because I've not seen it yet. Which I think there's a new area I'm going to today called the Scorch. Yeah, I think it's the Scorch I'm going to. I think tree candy might be there. I reckon tree candy might be like crystalline fragments on burnt trees. That's my theory. So I think that I'm going to find tree candy today. I've also got loads of new stickers and parts and things that I've found, like new steering wheel. I think I've had that one for a while actually, but I put a little tape on there. Quite like my tape. Other car things I've unlocked. So I mentioned the all-terrain tyre. I've also unlocked a paddle tyre, a fuel synthesizer, which I think I've currently got on. So this uses electricity in the car to generate fuel, and then when it's full, you can then siphon it off into the fuel tank. It's a bit annoying to have to manually siphon it, but I guess that's because it uses power. You may have noticed the massive dish on the roof, the resource radar. This allows you to scan the nearby area and see what resources are nearby. I've also unlocked the high-capacity battery, which is a battery I think goes in the back seat. And I've also unlocked the ion shield, which again is another thing that I can use. That I think it puts a protective barrier around the car, I imagine. Or it protects the front of the car. It may be a bumper, actually, that one. It protects the front of the car from impacts. But I like the look of my car. I love this armoured bumper. It looks just so meaty. Gear. I've unlocked a few more of these. So which one's the ones that I've not been through? Grip gloves. So this stops... They're so annoying. Like the bubblegum buddies, the other shitty ones. The things that nick stuff off you. The ones that take bits off your car are so annoying. I hate them. This stops them from nicking stuff out of my hands. But I need to save up on swamp coral, which I should hopefully do on this run. I need to get more swamp coral so I can stop people nicking them out of my bag. I don't think they've nicked anything out of my bag yet, but they're probably going to start doing it because they can't get out of my hands anymore. I hate them. I hate them so much. Anti-static gloves I've unlocked. I'm wearing all these at once. Is this person just wearing like 5 pairs of gloves and 10 things over the top? Yes, anti-static gloves I have unlocked. They are electricity-proof gloves. So I'm wearing stuff that stops me from getting... like, it means that electric damage is limited, which is good, because it means that if I ever get stuck in a situation where I'm being electrocuted, it's not as bad. I've noticed that I've started to run out of rubber. And I didn't think rubber was going to be something that I'd struggle to find. But I think because I've been skipping out on a lot of the basic resources for so long, I'm now running out of some of the basic resources. I also unlocked the acid raincoat. So this is the first level of acid. So they're tree candy. I must have got that from converting the plasma, because I only had 2 initially. The acid raincoat protects you from basic acid. So that's going to be quite useful if, like, for example, one of the zone conditions means that all the water is acidic. And that means if you want to collect swamp coral, you have to wade out into the acidic water. So the more acid resistance I've got, the better I can then collect resources without losing too much health. There's so many more of these. Olympium, I feel like, is going to be something that's in the far in zone. Like, 'cause I'm in the mid zone at the moment. Like, it's the center zone, whatever it's called. I feel like Olympium is going to be the final resource you get there. So I reckon I'm not going to be able to get those until I reach that part of the zone. However, when I was online, I was looking at something else, and I saw there was somebody had listed the missions on a page about a different part of the game, and I noticed that I don't think there's that many more left. There only appear to be about maybe 20 or so missions altogether, and I think the one that I'm on is like maybe 5 or 6 from the end. So in terms of story, I actually don't think there's a huge amount more, which is, I mean, it's fine. I'm enjoying the game, but I'm getting to the point now where I'm sort of reaching the limits of unlockables, because I mean, you can see in a lot of these trees, anything that's white is unlocked. So I'm unlocking the majority of things in the game now, which means I'm pushing close to the end. The only thing I don't have at the moment is corrupted energy, which obviously you're going to get as you go further in, potentially into the center zone, whatever it's called. Other gear I've unlocked. So I unlocked the thermal vacuum. That's not the one I've got at the moment. I think I'll put it in there because I didn't want to break it. The thermal vacuum is just a more powerful version of the vacuum, and it's got a light on it as well. I'm going to shut this up. I hate this. I wish I hadn't installed this. Dad, if you can hear us, we're sorry. We're so sorry. We just wanted to see it for ourselves. Dad, please respond. Dad. This thing just beeps endlessly every time I come back. And I don't want to look at it because I feel like I'm ruining the lore for the playthrough. They're probably not even that, but I bet there's hundreds of these, and there's just so that every single time you come back there's something different. I bet you can't I don't even get through all of them, and nobody cares. Anyway. Other gear, so I'm going to run through these quickly. Liberator Mark II, so the thing that you can shoot at cars to blast off their parts. The Mark II, I think it's got more in it. I don't think I can make it yet, though. I'm not sure if I've got one. I think it might require... yeah, there we are. So I need explosives, which I've not even seen yet. So as soon as I get those, I can then make a better version of this. I've also made a plasma charger, which is like the battery jumper, but better. It allows you to charge your battery up so that you can stay out there a bit longer. I've unlocked a lot of bio stuff. So the bio lantern is a little lantern that is... It uses the bioluminescence of some of the stuff from the mid-zone. Same with the bioflare and the bioflare gun. So they glow a slightly different colour, and they keep talking about them maybe being alive, which is kind of weird. Where's the one where it says that it might be alive? Yeah, we are. And it probably isn't even sentient. Probably. In terms of the lore stuff, I've got tons to go through, but I'm going to do what I did last time and do it between zones, because I don't want to stand here talking for too long. It's only been about 10 minutes. I feel like all of these start with me just chatting, and I don't know if people find it boring. I hope not, because I'm talking about the game. But people might be jumping in to be like, I want to see him drive, and all I do is talk. So we're going to go through the lore in the in-between stuff. I found so many things. There's so much to read in this game. Speaking of stuff to read, I've also encountered loads more anomalies and things. So again, oh god, why am I wiping my nose on the? You know what, Brad? Because you've done it, put it in. Put it in the YouTube clip. People can watch you wiping your nose like a disgusting wretch. Yeah, I'll be reading the stuff as I go through and see what I can do. There's only one thing that happened on one of my runs that I wanted to show a clip of, and that was that I got a really funny achievement, and the achievement is called "Et tu," so "and you" in French. Et tu. Get hit by your car. So I managed to accidentally get hit by my own car. I parked it on a hill, and as I got out, the door hit me, and I got this achievement. I thought it was funny. So there's the clip. So today's run, we are going all the way here. The Scorch is this new type of area, which I guess is going to be like hot, maybe like a volcano-y. And once I've been to the Scorch in a stream, I can then go to the Scorch not in a stream. Let's do this and see. Ooh. Wait, can you go from here to here to here? Because it unlocked these two as well. I guess maybe you can. Like go left across. However, I'm not going to be doing that. I want to take the most direct possible route that doesn't take me through some of the unstable areas. So we're going to be going to E5 here. Malfunction and mess. And then we've got the Warrens is one I saw ages ago. And I never... Intense radiation. How intense is intense? I'm guessing that doesn't mean that the entire area is radiated. I'm guessing what it means is that the radiation that is there is more dangerous. I would hope. So otherwise I should probably light up my car. The Warrens is one I saw ages ago and I haven't read. And I don't actually know what it is. So I want to read the Warrens. Maybe it means there's more bunnies. Yeah, that makes sense. Like a rabbit warren. And the picture looks a little... So maybe that means the area is crawling with bunnies. I'm going to guess that's what it is. Once we've done that, we're going to go up here. We've got an area with perpetual stability, and it's got loads of different resources, and it's where we need to go for the story. So we're going to try and spend as little time in these as possible, just collecting the anchor energy, because it's going to take 3 to get out of here. And this does look like it's probably got enough in just this area, but I would rather have a bit more, so I don't have to worry too much about it. So we're going to go this route, and then through there. Sorted. Fucking sorted, mate. Okay, I'm getting really comfortable with the car now. Maybe a little too comfortable. So if I go backwards, does anything happen? No. Just want to check. Go backwards. No. What happens if I switch this? I thought this lit up in yellow when you had quirks, but it doesn't seem to do it because I've got 2 quirks and it's not yellow. So I don't know. Let's go! Drive, 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 everybody. Is anyone going to do it? Is anybody going to drive, drive, drive? See, there's going to be a stream delay, though, and if you do it now, it might happen when I'm not driving, and it's going to be really... Everyone's going to be really disappointed in you, and I'm going to call you out for it. If you do it, and it's not at the right time, I'm going to call you out for it. See. People know. People are smart enough not to do it. Okie dokie. So we're going to this one first. Malfunction mess. I'll read it when I get there, but I don't think that one's particularly bad. The resource scanning thing has been very useful for finding things like box trucks and harder investigators. I've got everything in this area. That's never happened before. Every single one of the things has been discovered. That's cool. I've got loads of these. I'm very pleased with myself. Wait, is that a tree? Tree resource, tree candy. It's there. This game, it's such a different experience to a lot of other games I've played. And I really like it. Because it's got the same elements of, your survival crafts, and there's other games like it with similar elements and similar stuff. I just think there's just something quite unique. It's very much got a roguelite element to it, hasn't it? Because each run, if you die or if you blow up, if you ruin your car, which I've never done yet, never died, never ruined my car. Malfunctioning mess. If you no, malfunctioning mess. If you wreck your car, you lose everything. So it's very much like that. High levels of magnetic interference combined with broad spectrum atmospheric anomalies mean that things are constantly going haywire in this part of the zone. Yeah, so I don't know whether this means that the car has random stuff go wrong, or maybe it means there's more of the broken bunnies. It's fine. Okay, so we're doing a loop around here and going back down there. Perfect. Easy enough. Like I said, I'm just going to collect the anchor energy and we're just going to get out, so I don't really need to loot anything. I will, however, use some of my power to look for box trucks and things, because they've got the best stuff in. I always forget. I know it's there and I always forget. Thank you very much for that. Alright, so I'll show you the resource radar. So I do this, and I look around. So car, fuel, car fuel, fuel. Okay, so nothing within range of me at the moment. It's worth going and collecting. These are broken cars. You've got normal cars. I realised when I went out most recently, I'd never scanned just a normal wreck. Oh, that's a wriggling wreck. I'd never scanned just a normal car wreckage. There's like little car wreckages all over the place. I'd only ever scanned like the more important ones. I'd never scanned just a basic one. And it was kind of odd when I realised. Oh, there's stuff all over the place here. Jeez. Could have done without that, but I don't think it hit the car too much. I think some geysers are going to pop open, aren't they? What do they call these? Shakers. This game, like, this kind of stuff just feels so basic now. I remember my first runs when I was all over the place and crashing into everything. And now, it all just feels so easy. Alright, I'm in a bit of an open area now. Let's do another scan. And see what we've got. I really want the box trucks. The harder trucks are alright, the box trucks are the best. They tend to have the most interesting stuff. Alright, so we've got, that's a Squire. Oh, there, wait, oh no, that's a fuel truck. I don't need that. Oh, fuel truck again. Oh, there's one of the pneumatic tubes is over there. Let's remember that. That's in that direction towards my marker. And then there's a Squire over there, which I am going to run towards. Because I still need more... Is that a Squire as well? It is. I still need more thermostat crystals, and this is currently the best way to get them, is to tear apart armoured parts on Squires. I may as well just leave the rest of the stuff. I've got so much like glass and scrap and steel. All I'm doing is filling up my space. I've not really stopped to appreciate the like environments in this game, like the natural environments. It's got a very nice aesthetic to it, this game. It's not trying to be photorealistic. It's still going for a bit of a cartoonish look, but in a more of a serious way. I think I have had to turn the graphics down because it was struggling a lot when I first started playing. And I'm not sure whether it was... Like, when I played Mirror's Edge, there was one specific setting that was messing up my frames, and when I turned that off, it was fine. So Pacific Drive could have been the same, and then maybe I could have been playing this with my settings a lot higher. But I think even without those settings all the way up, I think it still looks really nice. I like games that have a visual style. This one seems to be... It really loves its colours, and I love a game that's really colourful. Like, the colours on this, when you just walk forwards, it's glowing. Oh, there's a storm coming in. Oh, I don't like these storms, because you never know what they are. Have I already got a burst tyre? I've barely been out. Oh, it's loose. Alright, I'll fix that. One of the reasons to collect resources is so you can just make these rather than having to use my backups, but it's not that one, is it? It's the one with the spanner. That tyre, by the way, best find I've ever had. So, off-road tyre, it's the tyre I use anyway. It's peculiar, and what it has is tons of extra health. So you can see on the left there, see the difference between the tyres. So this one is, it's got 90% real life. Yeah, 90% electricity resistance, 30% radiation resistance, 10% impact resistance. And the rest of them all have like 20, 15, whatever. This tyre, amazing. And I've had it for ages. The problem with peculiar tyres is the peculiar parts is that you can't repair them yourself. So as this deteriorates, it won't be fixable. But I've had this now for half a dozen runs. And when I got it, it was half of what's gone on its health there. So it's gonna... Oh, it's the storm. Yep. So this storm that's just come in is triggering all the bollards around. I don't know what it's called, this storm. I don't know how you check when it's opened. I think the game's paused. There's so many of these I've not seen. It's utterly ridiculous. Like, anomalous clouds, unpredictable weather patterns are more common. Where does it tell you what the weather patterns are, though? So I know that one of them has been the wind. Where's the wind? Gusts and gales. This part of the zone is frequently subject to high winds. Alright, let's avoid the horrendous shit that's going on here. I'm almost certainly going to get flung into the air during this storm. But we'll just try and avoid it. Yeah, there it is. Car doesn't take a lot of damage from being flung into the air, which I'm quite happy about. I thought I would wreck it. I completely forgot. I found a gigantic dumpster pearl. It's massive and it's spherical and I love it. I kept it because I wanted to put it in when I was streaming. It's so cool. I'll have to show everybody. You've completed it. Well, I mean, that shows the different pace me and you were going at. I don't think I'm too far off mission-wise, but I'm likely... I'm really enjoying the game, so I'm likely going to keep coming on and getting resources. Right, box truck, box truck. Where are you? Where are you? Okay, there's a squire there. There's another pneumatic tube over there. What's my battery like? I need to be careful because this does use power. I have a habit of burning my power out trying to scan shit. Okay, these... Ardor Investigator. Have I read about this yet? I have not. Ardor Investigator. These are the things I keep forgetting to read out because I find them so many times and I forget what I have read and haven't read. Prod. What am I prodding? You want me to prod the truck? Let me read first. Journal fragment. Date unknown. I think the reality of so much work, even the work that is about our dreams and ambitions, the kind of work we have put so much more of our time and energy into, is compromise. My hope was that we could create practical, reliable, mobile laboratories to allow us to better do our jobs. The zone increasingly unstable, increasingly changing. I thought that it was a novel solution. We could analyze many of our findings on site. We could respond to changing conditions in a timely manner, relocating ourselves to study new weather behaviors or anomalies the moment we heard about them. We could work in a safe, secure environment. Storm chasers. But now we have this. Slow, clumsy trucks that perform poorly off-road, but lack a dedicated laboratory space that aren't even hermetically sealed. The lead shielding built into them is too thin. The equipment we mounted is too old. Budget constraints and compromise mean we've created nothing more than a portable chemistry set. What's more, Arda have named it the Investigator, like they chose the driest name they could think of. And all this will have to do. I love that the thing that he's saying about how it's not practical or useful. And then he's like, I don't like the name though. The name's shit. So you want me to prod the truck? All this is doing is damaging my crowbar. What's wrong with this tyre? Why has it got a thing on? Maybe you can only see if you take it off. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Hope that was worth the price you paid. Oh, the next energy's right here. It's not a big one though. Let's drive past it. Let's run back. It's a bit weird that sometimes this door just doesn't close when you get out. It seems like an odd thing for them to have accidentally put in. That if you walk a little bit forwards or don't... That was quick. Or don't retreat like fast enough from the car, that the door won't close properly. I mean, I'm not concerned. I've got loads of time. I used to think that this alarm meant, like, essentially get out soon. But this comes in so slow. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Driving through anomalies with the cars, my friend. I can't wait to get on the road again. Right, how's fuel looking? I absolutely hemorrhage fuel at the moment. This new engine, just the problem is, right, here's the issue. I could put a fuel tank on the roof, then I have to get rid of my big storage. I have to get rid of my scanner. I don't want to. I could put a big fuel tank in the back seat, but I like having my jump jacks. I should probably make another one of these. I like having my jump jack because I use it quite a lot, actually, to get out of like annoying situations or to avoid anomalies or things that are in the way. And I also quite like having my auto parker, which I should also get a new one. So I'm left with what's on the side. And this side fuel tank doesn't really do a lot. The fuel synthesizer is great. It uses power. So I think what I might do is I might pack more of these plasma chargers so that I can just keep refueling from this. Let's move on. First zone done. 1.8 kilo. We need 3. There's going to be plenty in the final zone, though. I don't need to worry too much about that. I do wonder whether I should just make my way through this straight away. I need to see whether the radiation is zone-wide or whether it just means that areas of radiation that are already there are more intense. But this one does have box trucks again. It's also got a zone receiver, which is those tapes. I'm meant to be reading lore between journeys. It's fine. I could do a bit of lore. Once we get into the next one, I'll do a little bit of lore. So I keep forgetting to do the lore. Sweet. Okay, I'm going to read these ones first. Because I've not seen either of these in a stream. So intense radiation. Right, the hot dust is especially intense. If I see one, I'm going to run in and see what levels. I reckon it's going to be like 10. Any more than that seems a bit ridiculous. However, I'm also going to have a look at the Warrens. Because I have seen this once, but it wasn't streaming. My prediction, more bunnies. Bunny anomalies run rampant. I was right. Makes sense. The picture looks like bunnies. Warren, rabbit one. Right, let's have a quick look at a couple of bits of lore that I've found. So the ones I like the most are the ones that are about the anomalies, I think. So I've got a couple more anomaly studies I found, which are anomaly studies 1 and 2. So let's go and look at them. Ooh, my past trips. Where are they? Where's the lore? Oh, it's this, isn't it? No, it's not. This is the plot. Oh, you can re-listen to these? I didn't know you could re-listen to these. Why is this one down as not looked at? Maybe I didn't look at it. This would have been useful. I would have actually got some context on the characters. It's not playing. Okay, so Tobias is a former ARDA maintenance manager, and then Francis is an R&D scientist. They live in the mid-zone, which I knew when I got to the mid-zone, because then they had a better signal. And then Dr. Ophelia Turner, the former director of research and development, the mother of Limtech, the maven of electromagnetism, and resident party pooper. I've been wondering the relationship. I sort of figured out that Tobias was an engineer, or at least a repairman for ARDA. I realised that the Francis was one of the research team basically, and I knew that Oppie was one of the important people, but I didn't see this, so I didn't get the proper introductions to them. It's good to know. Are there any other ones I missed of these? I think I've heard all the rest. I have, haven't I? Yeah. Anyway, where am I going? Frequency files. These are, here we are. So you can see the ones I've not looked at. Anomaly studies. So according to this, I've not read 1, 2, and 6. I'm sure I read 6. Oh no, I just read it on a separate line. Okay, let's have a look. So these are people looking at like anomalies and talking about them. These are usually quite cool. So add a category reference 1.22. One of the earliest consistently reported anomalies, this mimicked many artificial noises made in its presence. A tiny burrowing bottle-shaped anomaly, this would surface and imitate engine noises, radio static, or in particular, sirens. Studying these was difficult as those approaching them would suffer immediate nausea and dizziness. Sightings dropped to 0 soon after the first crawlers manifested. So they may have adapted into something else, I guess, developed. 3.63. While this anomaly cannot strictly be described as humanoid, it has nevertheless gained the moniker Hat Man. That sounds like a cryptid. A slew of distant sightings describe a first impression of a tall person in a hat and coat. Sightings are consistent in their description of a tall, thin shape moving at or just above ground level with a broad, low, hat-like structure top. I'm getting goosebumps reading this. It's just bizarre. Above almost a cone-like tapering lower structure. This can give the impression of a wide-shouldered figure. No signs of this anomaly have occurred since June 1964. However, at this time, many zone personnel began to report extremely consistent dreams of something similar entering their homes. Genuine, like, goosebumps. That's just creepy. That's really creepy. Because I think the thing that makes it really creepy is, like, when you hear these urban legends just in out and about in others, like, they're obviously the stories, they're not real, but this is in an anomalous area of the world where it literally could exist and probably does. What if it turns up? What if they've added in some anomalies that are like super rare? Because I guarantee Bigfoot is somewhere in this game. I've not seen him yet, but there's been enough talk about Bigfoot and enough people saying that Bigfoot is a thing, and there's a painting of Bigfoot, that I think that somewhere there's going to be a Bigfoot. I don't know if it's going to be part of the plot, or whether on one run, there might, like, when you scan the zone, there might be an anomaly that's just there, like, unrecognised, and there's a Bigfoot somewhere, and you've got to, like, approach carefully because he'll kill you. Definitely going to be a Bigfoot. But this would be creepy. If, like, imagine if after you read it, the game was like, right, let's show it to him. And when I close this now, it's right in front of me. It drifts towards me. I'm like, ah! Anomaly Studies 6. Localized patches of this anomaly appeared throughout fringe areas of the zone between 1967 and 1968. Thin, waist-height, grass-like structures would spring up overnight. These were topped with variously coloured bulbs that would frequently combust with the slightest friction. That's quite nice. Grass with lights on. This anomaly was aggressively cold when it was found and has not been reported since December 1968. Aww. Oh, there, it's playing now. Fine, you can play.
Driver, we never introduced ourselves. Not really. Tobias Barlow, former ARDA maintenance manager. Oh, and here with me is Dr. Francis Cook.
I was a R&D scientist researching limb technology right here in the zone.
We live right in the mid-zone, just a hop, skip, and a jump over another big old wall from where you're at. Oh, and that old bat over there? That's Dr. Ophelia Turner, former director of research and development herself. The mother of limb technology, the maven of electromagnetism.
That's enough.
Resident party pooper.
Well, there you go. There's the thing we didn't hear. I'm going to quickly divert here to go and get this radio broadcast. Even though I'm not really listening. I should really put them on when I'm driving, shouldn't I? Because then I can at least leave the footage and listen to what they're saying. I like the lore. I like that they've put a lot of effort into adding loads and loads of interesting details and lore. I know that other people have different preferences for what they like. See, if you watch this on YouTube, though, you can... I just crashed. It's great. If you watch this on YouTube, you can just skip the bits you don't like. I know that's a thing that you can do. Wait. Oh, there's an abductor over there. I'm sure there was a tower right here. It's where the marker is, isn't it? Am I being blind? Oh, it's there. Disguised as a tree. Frequency file 2, part 4. There's no point in playing this one because I've got all of the other ones. I suppose I could put one of those on now. It's a good way of trying to get through them is just play them every now and then. Because I found loads of them. Where are they? Frequency file. So episode 1. I don't think I've put either of these on. I think I might put the second one on during a stream. But I haven't put any of these on. So let's play one of them.
Welcome back. This is Frequency File, episode 2.
Oh, that's the name of the broadcast.
In the last episode, I told you about the curious case of Dr. Ophelia Turner. When it comes to this enigmatic individual, one of 3 versions is true. Myth, martyr, or monster. To be able to weigh her in turn as heretic, genius, or scapegoat, we must first set the stage. When I started down this path to discover who she was, what she did, and ultimately what happened to her, I didn't expect it to lead me to one of the strangest mysteries of the Pacific Northwest.
Ooh, they're really selling it, aren't they?
Exclusion zone. But let me rewind a bit.
Okay.
In northwest Washington state, there are 3,600 square miles of vibrant wilderness called the Olympic Peninsula. Bounded by water on 3 sides, it was a wonderland for outdoorsy
So
types,
beautiful.
with snow-capped mountains and salmon-bearing rivers and pristine rainforests. Up until 1955, it was the residence of 100,000 people, including Ophelia Turner. It was her birthplace, her hometown, and, it turns out, ground zero and sacrificial lamb for the promise of limb technology. In true fashion, the government never comes out and says that's what led to the creation of the Olympic exclusion zone. But the chain of events were in plain sight. Strange accidents, leading to the government's claim of eminent domain and subsequent seizure of the peninsula. The evacuation of 100,000 people and the attempt and abject failure at containing the rumors that spread like wildfire. Because it turns out, even with the government's resources at your disposal, keeping secrets is a tricky business. You can bet there was plenty of talk as a result. Lucky me, because I had plenty of questions.
Ooh. Is that the end of the broadcast? I think these are really interesting. Like, they're put in... So, obviously, if you don't really care that much, you don't have to go for any of them. You don't have to read the lore. You don't have to collect any of the audio files. But this is a really good way, in-universe, of giving the player all these little extra little tidbits of information. So this seems to be like a deep dive, like an investigative report into Ophelia Turner. So maybe later in the game, when you find out more about her and you uncover some of the mysteries surrounding her, maybe some of it you can already like have a heads up on because you've taken the time to learn the lore, which I think is really cool. Right, here we go. So we're about to go into uncharted territory. What else will I read? The SRR minutes. Let's take a look. I've got 3 things I've not seen yet. I've got lab reports, zone motors and you, and poetry by Tobias. So let's take a look at those. Poetry by Tobias is going to be really funny, I can just tell. Okay, so Tobias B. This is Tobias as in the, I think the engineer, like the maintenance guy. The thunder's tearing, twilight tantrum, rips through the tawny sunset. The first screams of a world newborn, earthed in pain. A curling calico cloudscape concludes the shaking of the day, and lurks like guilt in an evening sky, witness to our shame. Human hubris hangs heavy here, as nature turns her back. and no litanies can catalogue all that we shall change. I'm one of those people who likes my poetry to rhyme. I know that that's probably a bit of a criminal statement to anybody who's like a big poetry lover, because I know that poetry doesn't have to rhyme, but I like my poetry to rhyme. We got Zone Motors and You. So what's this one about? Obviously, this is poetry that Tobias has been writing. I'm trying to figure out what each of these things are as we go through, because each one is giving me a different bit of lore. Oh, it's a guide on how to look after a car in the zone. Did you know that waxing your car isn't just about making it shinier? A good coat of wax is essential in the zone because it helps protect against abrasion, discoloration, chemical exposure, and has been proven to reduce the effects of radiation by up to 3%. First, make sure you're giving your car a complete thorough wash and that it's completely dried. Next, apply modest amounts of wax to the pad or cloth you're using and wax your car one area at a time. Wax on, wax off. The longer the wax dries for, the harder it is to remove, so be sure to begin removing recent wax with a thin cloth before you move on to another part of the vehicle. So obviously these are just going to be like car maintenance tips, but with a little bit of extra added information for why it might be useful and so on. That's kind of cool. I like those. Lab reports as well. So I've got one of these, Lab Report 6. You always seem to find the later ones of the ones where the order doesn't matter, and then the early ones where the order does. Lab Report 6. God, this is quite long. I need your help. Read through the data, look at the numbers. I've checked every equation, every result. The batteries were consistent, the quality of the materials was pure, and yet nothing on paper could really, truly explain the disparity in the disparity in the results. The fact is, the materials in Chamber A were exposed for longer than those in Chamber B, despite the experiment running for the exact same amount of time. Please, I beg you, I'm at my wit's end. Help me find an explanation. And hurry, we already deployed a dozen setups like this. They're already running out in the field. I fear if we don't get ahead of this, it's going to be bad. So we already know that the zone does have some sort of anomalous effect on time. And clearly this is a reference to this as well. Somebody's done an experiment where they did 2 identical tests, and one of them was like acted more than the other, which means that more time has passed for that one. So I'm guessing this is more evidence that the zone is messing with time. Okay, so I'll get rid of those. So the only ones I've not done now are the SRR meeting minutes, and then the frequency files. But the frequency files we'll listen to during this. We're making progress. We're actually making it through a lot of them. Broken Bunny. I like that it takes the first time you see them as the scan. So whenever I find something, it's the first time I've seen it is the scan I get. And you can see the quality of my pictures in a lot of them. These ones are quite easy because they're just there. The airstrip's a line. Scrambler. I remember this. These blow up. They're terrifying. Broken Bunny. Memo FAO, Dr. Lopez, December 10th, 1965. Still not had my birthday yet. I don't like this. I feel like an experiment. That's what I feel like. Like somebody's playing with me. Maybe to learn about me, maybe just in the way you see a raccoon trying everything it can to get into a trash can. Why would that be? Is this a response to the experiments I'm performing? Am I interesting? Am I a snack? These damn things chase me and leap on cars or the field equipment we've set up. It's like they're playing. Please, Anna, tell me you're feeling the same way. Tell me you're seeing this. Nothing in nature is random. Evolution means that things in our world have a function. They have a purpose. What is the purpose of these things? What are they trying to do? And are things in the zone evolving? I mean, there's obviously some method to a lot of the things in the zone. I still think there's something controlling them. I still think Ophelia is going to turn out to be the villain. She's got something to do with the stuff going on, or she's got a big plan to do something evil. Like she gives off the vibe that she's evil. But then the big twist will be that it's not her. It's actually that Tobias is like an undercover person, and he's there. He's been working there, and he was the one who caused it all, and he's evil. I think it's going to be. Oppie, and I reckon Oppie's going to be the villain, and that there is a sentient element to the anomaly that is actually trying to be helpful, and so. And that's why Oppie wants us to go to the epicenter, because I think that she wants us to get rid of this thing so that she has full control over the zone. And anytime something appears that's helpful to us, I reckon that's the and maybe it's a husband. That'd be an interesting little dynamic. Is that her husband, who supposedly died in the experiment? We've now heard rumors. I think that's what we're investigating now. Is that the person that she was married to, the scientist, his partner, who was also in the same thing that was supposed to have killed him, I think he is reported to have maybe still alive afterwards. So I'm going to go with that. I reckon that'll be an interesting plot thread. Is that Oppie's husband is still alive, and he is the good presence that is controlling anomalies on one side, and Oppie is the villain controlling them from the other side. And what we're going to have to do is get to the epicenter, and then we find out the truth, that Oppie's the villain, that Oppie's the one who's causing all of the problems. And then the final mission will be trying to get to where Oppie is, because she made reference to her being in a place that's heavily protected and that we can't get to. And I reckon that's going to be the final mission, is getting to her, and that we have to like sabotage her equipment or something to give full control over to her husband. That's my theory. I'm going to run with that based on what I've heard so far, and also based on the fact that I know a bit about story structure, and that I just think she's evil. I'm usually completely wrong with these things until I get more lore, but it'll be cool if I'm right. It'll be very cool if I'm right. Anyway, we have a place to go. First time going to the Scorch. Red Meadow, I think, is a facility that one of the documents, I think, said is supposed to be secret. So I imagine we're going to learn some interesting stuff here. There's also the tree. I'm hoping is tree candy. We've got, I'm not sure what that bottom symbol is on the bottom left, but the not recognized one, blue, is a piercing anomaly. That's going to burst our tires. And the skull is a acid anomaly. So we're going to see some new stuff. However, perpetual stability, lots of stuff to loot. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to get some stuff. I like my theory. I don't think I've got enough evidence for it to be right. It is massive speculation, but it'll be cool if it's true. It just feels like it's a good dynamic for like a warring couple who hate each other. I feel like that's because it adds more stakes rather than just being some anomalous entity. Like the anomalies being controlled by people is more interesting than the anomaly itself having its own like consciousness, if that makes sense. Red Meadow facilities. This is the Scorch. This is the first time we've been in an area like this. Oh, it's an actual just facility. That's fascinating. So there must just be loads and loads of buildings to loot here. This is where we're supposed to go for the mission, which is on the other side. That's strange. Well, let's just drive towards what I assume is the gate, and then there's a building over there we can take a look at.
Oh, jeez. You know, I remember Red Meadow like it was yesterday. You up to your eyeballs in paperwork. Francis coated in chalk dust from the blackboards.
You mistaking my lab notes for a trash pile and throwing away weeks of work.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see it again.
They bulldozed that facility to the ground. There's nothing left to reminisce about.
Ooh, but they didn't. I also need to keep an eye open for potentially tree candy. I reckon it'll stand out. It looks like the little picture says it's an anomaly. So the same way that I saw the things with the what they called swamp coral, the thing those grow out of it. I forgot to run into some radiation in the previous zone and see how bad it was. That's fine. Yeah, I think like what's that up there? There's something red up there. It's not worth diverting when I have no idea what I'm actually looking for. However, I can just scan. I can scan and it'll tell me where it is, won't it? Well, apparently not nearby. What's that? Is that an anomaly? Or is it just nice decor? Just bioluminescent butterflies. These are cute. I never really thought about the living animals that are still here. But I guess obviously there are some. I've seen birds flying around every now and then. There's the butterflies. I imagine there's some stuff that survived. But it would all have been like slightly warped by the effect, wouldn't it? Is that shock tourists?
Regret all this?
Might charge up on them.
Every second I heard your voice coming through my speakers.
I mean, everything that happened.
There we go.
Handing over Lim, the way the project ended, it cost you Alan, you know, your career.
There we are. Alan, that was his name.
Damn Olympic Peninsula. She's still here.
So are you. You chose your urban legends over everything else.
And you wonder if I regret it?
Oh, I have no interest in regret. I want to know if you ever felt that leaving was a real option.
After everything I've seen and heard and felt here? No, not a chance.
Then we have that in common.
Can you prod a tourist? These are the worst kind of tourists. I'm trying to use them to charge. You're so mean. Oh. I guess it runs out of charge eventually. Oh, I just turned the car off by accident. Fine, I'll prod a tourist. That's what I get for adding rewards to do stuff like this. Ow. Happy. I need to be aware of how much damage these things do. Because if I ever end up in a situation where somebody asks me to prod something that's going to kill me... Oh, I'll be so irritated. Right, I got a bit of power from that, but it wasn't much. I may as well use my charger. Oh, hang on. That is a spike trap right there. That's one of the piercing ones, I think. Let's drive around that. I want to just be careful. What is that? Oh, this is a wall. With a big glowing thing on it. There's hot dust everywhere. Oh dear. Oh, it's because I'm getting close to this facility. This is obviously the wall that leads in. What's that building over there? Is it just a building? So maybe there's a way through the wall there, or maybe I am supposed to drive around. Let's try drive around. See, it seems we're already around the side. Maybe there's a side road for a reason, because you can get around the edge. What's the good? What's the good of a giant wall if you can drive around it? While I'm here, anything interesting nearby? Oh, there. This is what I wanted to see. This tree here. Is this tree candy? It looks like it might be. Can I use the vacuum for this? 'Cause I think somebody said I might need a better vacuum. Twisted Ember. Private field notes of Dr. A.F. Kingi. We've seen Kingi before. Typically, carbon only exhibits liquid properties at high temperatures and pressures, generally over 4,500 Kelvin and 100 atmospheres. A week ago, if you'd asked me about the conditions in which I expected it to exist, I would have presented these figures. But after what seems to be a combination of mass hallucinations, seismic events, and radiation bursts, more and more of the zone is behaving differently. The environment, the weather, even substances and elements themselves seem altered, as if mutated. In the woods west of our facility, what appears to be some form of liquid carbon flows like sap through many of the torched or petrified trees. Certainly, it is hot, but not so that it can't be collected and handled. Initial analysis show that it still behaves and reacts like carbon, but in this new form it is lighter, less dense, and yet also burns more efficiently. We have collected several litres for further study. Sounds like a useful resource. I can get them with this one. Oh, I was told that you couldn't get these with this one, but I guess you can. You can also just pick them. You can also just pick them up. Sweet. Okay, tree candy is one of the things I need, because I need it to make carbon fibre. So now that I've got tree candy, I'm going to be able to come to the Scorch areas and upgrade some more stuff. So that's going to be great for me when I'm not playing. No, it's going to be great for me when I'm not playing online, when I'm not streaming. Anywho, right, so let's try and get inside this facility. This facility that supposedly doesn't exist anymore. It's interesting.
How's Francis?
He hasn't left the bedroom.
I'm sorry you didn't know about his demotion. It wasn't my secret to tell.
I mean, it is a
It's
ruin.
fine.
This is between him and me.
So where am I supposed to be going? I mean, it says to get to the other side. I may as well get the energy while I'm here. At least that gives me a direction, because at the moment I don't really know where to go other than crossing through the whole thing. Maybe the point is that you have to drive through it so that they can say there's nothing remaining. I told you there was nothing remaining. Oh, jeez. I'm going to have a quick look at this spike pit thing, just to make sure it's not like a variant that I've not seen before. Oh, it is. There we go. Spike log. Teletype autoscript, ADA reference, Carol V. Sir! Staff car's stuck in the bush, sir! No, sir, this is a different bush. Yes, it's another bush again, but this one has razor sharp bush. Car is maybe a little cut up and we can't move it and risk it. Worse. Grid references 10 TDT 420 525. Oh, where on the car? Everywhere, sir. All the underside, the wheels, the axle. Actually, no, sir. It hasn't got to your fine and leather upholstery now that you ask. Yeah, don't drive over that. Lesson easily learned. Okay, we've got a belching barnacle. Well, those logs are all over the place. Oh, I don't want to go any further, actually, because if those logs spawn in when I take this energy, then I'd rather not be too close. Oh. Would like to get a little bit more tree candy while I'm here. But I don't really want to go out of my way for it, because I'm here to story. Not here to collect, I'm here to story. You, however, are the biggest one in this area. Oh, dear. Car's in trouble! Car! Oh, it's fine now. Wonder what's wrong with car. Jack, I'm coming! I'm coming, Jack! Maybe I got hit by one of the acid things. That seems like it could have been why. Oh, it's got to be a big hunk of juice there. Alright. I mean, there's some buildings around here and stuff. Like, it genuinely does just seem like the whole point of this is to see that it's dead. Maybe you drive through it and you get a radio call where they're like, I told you, there's nothing there. And then Tobias is like, hang on, I'm getting some readings from this area. And you go there and there's an underground lab. And the lab has loads of secrets. And Oppie doesn't want you to go there because it holds secrets that she doesn't want you to know. One of these days I'm going to make a prediction like that. It's going to be completely true. And everyone's going to be like...
This lab has got to be here somewhere.
Here we go. I guess we're looking for the lab. Well, I'm going to get this energy. Maybe it's this. Maybe this is Dr. K's lab. Dr. K! You in there? Dr. K. Ooh. Animal stripes. That was one of the first ones I had on, wasn't it? I had it on my bonnet and my hood. No, my hood and my boo. God, it's so difficult trying to decide whether I'm supposed to use the English word or the American word. I should just use the English word. I'm English. I'm allowed to use it. It's like when you're streaming and the Americans are the bigger audience. It's like I should use their words. You know what? I'm going to use my words. Bonnet. Boot. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Is that more tree candy? It is. Don't mind me. Oh, there's loads on this one. Right. Okay, so let's go and get this one.
So,
Oh.
what did Alan tell you about his work? He was second in command of Dr. K's lab, after all.
Alan didn't discuss his work with me, nor did I share mine with him.
Wait, you were head of the whole stinking department. You You must have known something about what their lab was doing.
If there was anything useful to be found, I'd have sussed it out already. Well, that's all I did after the accident.
Bit arrogant.
Try and failed to find any answers.
Oh, there's a box truck. Cool. So I've been wanting to find a box truck this session. The box truck is another one of the ones I've not read yet. So let's read it while we're here. If it'll let me. Here we go. Box truck. Private field notes. Dr. Everett. Date? No. It never occurred to me that this would become a logistical nightmare. By the end of the decade, operations in the zone involved over 100 scientists, twice that in support staff and technicians, another 100 staff in engineering disciplines, and more than 2,000 military personnel. That last figure is particularly difficult to estimate. Oh, and trucks. Trucks all the time, rattling back and forth, moving gas, moving mechanical equipment, cabling, furniture. I guess we all need sofas, right? I'd have preferred a light rail network, at least more freight. How can you get a rail network in a place where every zone just shifts constantly? But after those early incidents, it's like everyone is scared to get on any train within 100 miles of this place. Like they're cursed or something. So it's trucks. All day and all night. You know what we brought into the zone? Traffic jams. And now we're starting to move everything out again. Downsizing, they call it. Or just outright plundering abandoned equipment. I won't get on a train in this. Here we go. So what do we get? We got some floral decal. Looks like the mystery machine when you put these ones on. It's great. And a shit door I don't want. The future stylings. Oh, it's another hood ornament. Oh, it's like a little turbine. What are the other ones I've got? So I've got a bee. I've got a castle. Pirates, or the pirate ship's cool. And then it's like a standard one. So it's meant to be like representative of Mercedes or something. Sick. There we go. Box truck. Can cross it off my list. Oh, what is that? That's new. What are you? Sap compressor. Wait, is this a way to get more thermal sap crystals? Ooh, this is necessary. Impact hammer. I think at last that we may have perfected the crystalline form with this new carbon sap. With Dr. Turner's focused electrostimulative limb induction, we can essentially grow crystals almost as casually as if we were doing high school homework assignment. Perhaps I'm exaggerated a little here. We still need to set up the inductors on location, and they must be carefully monitored to avoid overgrowth, as we are not even close to observing consistent development. Still, the resource costs are low, and the rewards are plain. We can begin to compress and shape sap. Before then, collect and use resulting crystals in far greater quantities than ever. And the applications of this, they could be extraordinary. So, how much sap do I get from these? Because I've been taking apart all of these squires. I mean, it's not loads, but it's a good enough amount. It's not like 6 or 7. As long as these things are regular. Oh, okay, well, there's loads of them here. Perfect. Well, I might actually be able to get some of the upgrades that I need the crystals for in this case. But there's one inside this tree. Can I reach it? Yeah, one of them spawned inside the tree. That's cool. That's not cool. It means I can't get it, but yeah, it's fine. Right, so I know that now, if I go to the Scorch, I can get tree candy, and I can... Oh, there's a fuel truck over there. I can get tree candy, and I can also get thermostat crystals, which are 2 of the things I need for some of my upgrades. So that's really good. It's really useful. Are you alive? Oh, I think it's just being a bit buggy because the strands are caught inside another tree. You never know when you see something weird. I'm going to go and get more of these. You never know when you see something weird, whether or not it's supposed to be weird, or whether the game's being weird. Because it's a game where weird stuff is just everywhere. Oh, thermal sap. So many thermal sap. Oh. The only thing I really need now... obviously, Olympium is going to be towards the end, but I really need corrupted energy. Because that's a lot of the... There's another one of those over there. I'm going. Fuck it. A lot of the end game stuff that I need is going to need unstable energy, corrupted energy. I don't know. I'm guessing there's loads of these. Oh my god, they're everywhere. Oh. Wait, I can get inside here. Interesting, right? I'm going to come back with a car, actually, once I've got the energy. Yeah, I don't know whether corrupted is only going to be in the central zone. That might be what it's called, central zone. I'm trying to figure out earlier what it could have been called. Whether the corrupted energy is only going to be there, or whether it's just like a random chance. They bounce. It could be like a random chance thing of every now and then one of the areas just happens to be completely fucked up, but you can only unlock it a certain... pick them up a certain distance into the game. Oh, is this tree candy as well? It is. I like the little effect when you suck them off. Like the like fiery explosion. I think it's cool. You know what? This game's just great. My only complaint about the area design of some of these places is that they are still a little bit samey in that it's like different coloured grass, open areas with bits, things dotted around. Oh, I've gone the wrong way. It's not a big complaint. It's not like I'm saying it's a terrible thing and that it's stupid and you know, it doesn't ruin the game in any way. I didn't go and get that anyway. I just think it's one of those things where even though the area does look different because, you know, the grass is different colours and all of the knobs and things are different, it still feels similar. Which I suppose makes sense. Like, it is just the same area of the world, just corrupted in different ways. I think what I'm saying is it'll be interesting to have more areas. Like, the swampy areas are quite different. But I guess you need roads. It has to be an area covered in roads because it's a driving game. So what else are you going to do? I think that particular complaint is coming from a place of love, because oh, fuel's low. There's a fuel truck over there, isn't there? That particular complaint is coming from a place of love and admiration for the game, because I really enjoy the world of this game and the whole anomalies everywhere kind of aspects. And a big part of that is I like seeing the unique things in the zone. And so having more unique stuff would be... that's what I want. I want the environments to look like alien planets, rather than just the different variations of the same sort of environments. That's all it is. Yeah, I think their concept for the game is so good that that's what it's making me think of. Okay, so this is the way through this wall. So this is where I'm supposed to be going. I'm not going to bother looting any of these things just yet. I can always come back here in an offline session if I want to get more stuff that is here. But I've got plenty of energy, and I'm clearly supposed to be going through this wall. I'm going to have to go through over there, though, because that's the one that's open. I feel like all of these buildings that are inside here are just going to be variants of other buildings that I've seen. And I'm going to have to go through the acid a bit. And I burst a tyre. Or is it loose again? Yeah, I feel like there's going to be variants of places that I've already been. Flat. Oh. Fix 6 status effects in the same car component. That's cool. Alright, so... I think I'm supposed to go through here. There's a massive red light above it, which is probably the game's way of saying, get in here, bro. Alright, let's go in and see. Wait, hang on.
Dr. K's access records were coded to the lab that used to be here.
Still haven't got
I'm
this.
feeling less optimistic by the second. Not a scoured this place clean.
Something's here. We just can't see it.
Oh, following a hunch. Not your usual MO, Oppie.
No, but being suspicious of Arda is.
I'm telling you, she's trying to stay on our side. That's the big plan. I'm going to stick with her being the villain up until the game proves it. Like, the game ends and she's not. I don't care what anyone says. Just don't like her attitude. It's a villain attitude. I'm going to end up at the point now where I've got too much unstable energy, because I've unlocked most of the things I want with that as well. Okay, so I'm supposed to be exploring the lab. So I guess I'm just going to drive around and see if I can find something that looks different. Oh, follow the access tunnel. What access tunnel? Oh, this one.
Driver, hang on. Where are you going? That should have been the end of the facility.
According to the blueprints, anyway.
Oh. There's a secret area. I found that fast. Hope there was nothing else interesting that I could have explored. Can I go in there? No. These lights are so bright. I love it. I'm guessing I'm just meant to follow the light. I'm just one of those people that just has to know. Yeah, it's just a dead end. I can always come back here. I can come back here and explore more. They wouldn't cut you off from something permanently, would they? Why is it raining inside? You know what, Brad? Don't question anything in the zone. So we're going to find some interesting lore stuff here. Oh.